You go way back with Belichick, right? And Kraft.
That's true. It's true. People,
and RKK, as we call him.
RKK,
right?
As I'm known in New Jersey as the Crown Prince, not quite the king because of Bruce. No one understood why my relations with the Pats were so deep for so long, and it's because of the Parcells-Belichick family tree. And it goes back to when they were both at the Giants in the latter 80s when I was allowed to be the mascot. And
come on now.
And I truly was allowed to be on the sidelines as long as I put all that long hair up in a hat and stayed out of the way. Parcells actually used to let me come to practice. I was in the locker room when Norwood went wide right. You know, I mean, I was in the locker room. I was on the sidelines. I have a ring. You know,
from that Giants
Super Bowl.
Giants
team. If you see the NFL films footage, I'm in the locker room.
So they're celebrating.
I'm with them while they're celebrating afterwards. Okay. Yeah, before they celebrated, as you know, with Wellington Mara, who was still alive.
May he rest.
They sat down and did an Our Father before. That's how early I was in the locker room. I mean, I was there, right?
Yeah.
So wherever Parcells and Belichick went, I went. And so when they went up to New England, I went up. And then I befriended Mr. Kraft, and you know, from the mid-'90s when they lost that first Super Bowl, or second Super Bowl to Green Bay. And so my relations are deep there. But the Pats are turning things around, and I'm digging it. This was a big win.
I mean, Drake May looked spectacular on Sunday night.
He's a good one.
And as I was talking about on the show the other day, when you talk about a relentless quarterback who, when he rolls out and extends the play, becomes that much more dangerous, and you can't sack him, and he becomes more dangerous when you attempt to sack him. Normally, you're referring to Josh Allen in that building.
I was going to say, most definitely.
Right, but on Sunday night, we're referring to Drake May in that way.
He was a good student, right? And I'm digging the coaching change because Mike, who you knew as a player, and I knew as a player, I'm loving the energy. It's a different energy.
Right.
You know, not to say any other one was bad, but it's a different energy. It's a youthful energy. He feels like he's coaching the team that's playing at your school.
Right.
You know, and I dig that. I like that he's in the hallway high-fiving the guys on the way into the locker room. And I like in the team meetings that the guys are telling jokes.
And he's also warming up with the guys, you know, going at him and like he's putting on pads himself, which is 100% contagious. And by our radio audience just returned here on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance, and also SiriusXM, part of our Disney Plus and ESPN app live stream. Talking to John Bon Jovi here on the program. We just talked about the current state of the Patriots.
Yeah.
But let me just go back old school. Do you got your favorite Parcells story? Bill Parcells, when you said you were in an old Giants stadium, right? Following this team and in the locker room with them celebrating the championship in 1990.
I can remember the first time that I was allowed.
Yes.
And you got to think this is 1989 in September, October. And Sean Landetta, the old punter, number 5, got me an invitation to come to practice. And at those days, it wasn't open to the public. It was in the parking lot of Giants Stadium. And George Young, the GM, is there, and they're looking at this guy pull up in a red Ferrari, long hair down to his, past his shoulders. I get out of my Ferrari, and I go into practice. First thing Parcells does is yell at me. Now, A, I'm from Jersey, so I'm used to being yelled at. But B, I went, he's my Pop Warner coach. I get it. And so we hit it off immediately. And because I earned the respect of he and then a young guy named Belichick and a young guy named Charlie Weiss, I was allowed to come back a second time, a third time, a fourth time. But he always would, basically yell at me, but with a wink and a nod.
What was he yelling with you about, just in general?
Get the hell out of the way, I was out shagging punts when they were in New England, literally on the field shagging punts in blue jeans and boots, and him, screaming at me like he's dad. But I used to try to get away with murder, and by that point, I almost could.
Because of who you are in New Jersey.
I just, I earned that respect of staying out of the way and never, knowing that to ask the follow-up question.
Yes.
And knowing when to shut up and when to not shut up. So I literally was lucky enough to hang out with them a lot when I was young.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.